Ondo has just been chopping while we just witnessed one of the biggest announcements ever made by Ondo. And I do think that this is going to lead to increased use of the Ondo platform, but also demand around Ondo itself. A lot of eyes right now are currently on Ondo at this point, and I do think that this is only going to continue to increase more and more. I think that the recognition around Ondo as a legitimate new Wall Street essentially is only going to continue to grow more and more. Now, if we're looking at the 1 year view of Ondo, this is where we are currently at. We're still up about 55%, but we're still pretty flat. I mean, listen, the all-time chart of Ondo, yeah, we're up 400 plus percent, but we're still down from the previous highs of almost like 57, almost 58%. And this is telling us that there's still an opportunity here for Ondo. Yes, when we look at the 1 week, I still think that there could be a little bit more pain for Ondo. I think that we could still hit about roughly like 73 to 83 cents. It's definitely a possibility. It's not out of the question. But we're just consolidating here. Most of the altcoin market is just consolidating while we still see some of the largest announcements being made around some of these core projects. And Ondo is one that's definitely not shy to that with the recent announcement. It was definitely huge. We talked about it, global markets, right? Tokenized stocks being brought on chain. It's a game changer. It's a huge one. But we really didn't see a big reaction on the chart. There wasn't a big change at all. And this is telling us that, again, recognition right now in this market, most of the retail sector is still not here. We're not seeing an increased amount of buying. We're not seeing anything going crazy too much. Altcoins are still in the shadows of Bitcoin and Ethereum, so we're not seeing alt season just yet, but we are getting there. And I do think now is probably one of the best times to be locked in on the fundamental side of these projects, not so much the price action. And I know that that sounds crazy to say because, again, price action is almost everything in this market, right? But sometimes fundamentals can tell us the future, right? Fundamentals can tell us that pressure is building. We're starting to see some of the, very big announcements hitting the space, but we have yet to see the price action. Price action's brewing. The pressure's there. All we have to do is be very patient. Now, when we think about this, we go over here. So this is the announcement, Wall Street 2.0. Now, it's been about roughly 5 days since this announcement. 100 plus assets are now live on chain. These are tokenized stocks. How good has it been? How successful has this been? Well, currently, tokenized stocks are now at over $420 million. And most of that value is tied back to Ondo. $63.6 million got added to tokenized stocks in just the last couple of days because of that announcement. And we can see that this is up 215,000 plus percent because that value just hit the, on chain. And again, I mean, Ondo has been growing rapidly during this time. This announcement was definitely something that completely changed the game for crypto, in my opinion. I think that this is going to show us that, yes, the stock market can live on chain. Yes, the stock market is going to be traded 24/7, 365. I mean, I personally think that everyone should be paying attention to what Ondo just did because it is going to really lead to trillions of dollars moving on chain. But we also see over here that Ondo's total value just moved 7% because of this recent announcement as well in the last 30 days. Holders are now up 6.65% in the last 30 days, almost 17,000. We're at 1.45 billion total value, by the way. Monthly active addresses just spiked 46 plus percent in the last 30 days, 1.5K. I know it's not a crazy amount, but hey, we're seeing some great growth here. Now, monthly transfer volume, that's down a little bit. That's also to be expected. I've talked about this also with some recent projects where, the monthly transfer volume is going to be down because, again, most of the market is just kind of boring. We're not seeing increased amount of growth within this market around, users and value hitting exchanges. Like even Coinbase, if we go back over here to the exchanges real quick, I just want to show you guys this. Coinbase's weekly visits are at 44,000. This shows us that retail is just not here in a much larger way than we saw back in like 2021 and even back in 2017, 2018. But I do think that we'll get there, right? I think that we are going to see retail flood back in, and that's where we're going to see a lot of these projects like Ondo witness a big significant amount of buying because, again, this announcement of bringing stocks on chain, 100 plus, it's a game changer. And it's not just a game changer for Ondo. Like I said, it's a huge push for the entire market because it's showing us that, yes, traditional markets can live on chain. And whatever traditional markets do, we can do better with them. So again, I'm very excited about this. And we also have over here from Ondo Finance a little bit of a clip of what global markets looks like. So we have billions globally were excluded from the world's largest capital markets. Ondo Global Markets is changing that. And check this out. This is what the platform looks like. So we can see it just looks like, typical like coin. It looks like CoinMarketCap in my opinion, right? It's just very simple, very clean. We have top gainers trending, newly added. And then we also have the Explore Assets tab where we can see all of the stocks on chain. Again, this is all of like the top tier stocks. We have all assets as well, what they look like, technology. It kind of looks like Robinhood mixed with CoinMarketCap in my opinion. It's a very clean looking setup. You also have the sign in to continue. You can buy, sell. It's just like a crypto exchange as well. I love this. I think that this looks very familiar to like Web 2 users and even Web 2 facing apps. It just looks so clean. So I love to see this. This is great to see. Again, this is a fresh launch, a very solid launch as well. And also, on top of that, we have over here what stablecoins did for dollars, Ondo is doing for US stocks and ETFs. These assets have been an incredible engine of global wealth creation, but with Ondo Global Markets, we aim to make that accessible to a global audience. Check this out. This is Ian Debode from Ondo.
We fundamentally believe that Ondo Global Markets will do for US equities what the stablecoin has done for the US dollar. And essentially, a lot of that is about global access to the asset, first and foremost, in a very seamless way. A lot of people globally that do not have access to the US dollar have figured out that a stablecoin is a very good way to get access to that asset. In a very similar way, our Ondo Global Markets platform is tokenizing these stocks, meaning that we put a token on chain that represents the economic exposure to the stock. That token is fully backed by the underlying stock or ETF. And in a similar fashion, like a stablecoin, we make that available on on-chain rails, on blockchain rails. We're starting on mainnet Ethereum, but we'll soon expand it to multiple networks so that anyone globally who has found a way to be active on-chain via a Web3 wallet or a crypto exchange account is going to be able to access these assets that really have been an incredible engine of global wealth creation for a lot of people. But with Ondo Global Markets, we really aim to make that accessible to a global audience.
And yeah, I mean, listen, this is what Ondo's doing right now. They are revolutionizing the way that the stock market is not just accessed, but traded, tapped into. I mean, guys, we are witnessing some of the largest markets in the world moving on chain. This is that big revolution happening in real time. And, again, this is really, I would say, some of the biggest steps towards the new system happening as well. We've talked about it for years. How, the financial system is changing, how crypto is the future of the financial system as well. And I think that, these things around tokenization, these moves that are being made are proof of that. Again, Ondo is a big accelerator of this. But on top of that, we also have over here that the line between TradFi and DeFi is disappearing. Ondo tokenized stocks and ETFs integrate into DeFi with stablecoin-like ease, unlocking new opportunities for traditional assets. Enabled by Chainlink oracles for trusted price data. Here we have from Chainlink, proud to partner with Ondo Finance on its newly launched Ondo Global Markets, an initiative bringing 100 plus tokenized US stocks and ETFs on chain. By adopting Chainlink as its official oracle platform for trusted asset price data, Ondo is driving enhanced DeFi composability and pioneering institutional grade on-chain finance at scale. Now there is a video clip with, Chainlink, with Sergey from Chainlink, where he is addressing this. Here we have bullish. JP Morgan and Ondo Finance are partnering to revolutionize finance. The partnership is aimed to make tokenized financial products more accessible to a wider range of users. Now listen closely to what is being said here about this partnership.
Yeah, so I'm really thrilled to see how JP Morgan and Ondo have been able to work together so well. JP Morgan is the most reliable, largest bank in the US for a lot of good reasons. And Ondo is a great tokenization platform that's made really high quality on-chain tokenized product, which is why I think JP Morgan chose to work with them. To Nelly's point, this is a very collaborative and mutually beneficial relationship where the capital markets on the JP Morgan side and the capital markets on the Ondo side, they both benefit from this integration and the ability for transactions to happen between these two groups. They both grow in the utility they provide to their client base. They both grow in what they're able to offer their users. The technical challenges of how do you connect these two systems? How do you make sure that value and data flows between them? How do they get synchronized in order to enable these two groups to interact with each other in these valuable ways? That has to meet a certain level of reliability and guarantees that Nelly and JP Morgan needs to see, and it needs to have the features and advanced capabilities that Ian and Ondo need for their system to take full advantage of this kind of transaction.
And yeah, I mean, listen, this is extremely significant, right? These partnerships that Ondo has locked in are so important to focus on. It's not even just JP Morgan though. Like, we know that JP Morgan is a big name. We know that they're tied back to Ondo. We know that Ondo has been working with some of the largest names around TradFi, but this isn't new to Ondo, right? Like, this announcement with JP Morgan and Ondo definitely is a big one. I mean, this is the largest bank in the world partnering up with Ondo. It's not like, oh yeah, this is a very small announcement that we can just kind of overlook. No, it's definitely big, but think about how familiar this situation is for Ondo. That's something that I've tried to spotlight on many occasions when I talk about Ondo, is that their ecosystem is absolutely stacked. When you look at the names, right, we have BlackRock tied to Ondo. We have BNY, Coinbase, StoneX, Goldman Sachs, McKinsey and Company, BlackRock again. Again, here's a few other names. This is just like third-party audited security, and then also like compliance first. But these are the types of names that are tied back to them. And then we look at the top, right? You have Securitized, Wellington Management, Goldman Sachs, Franklin Templeton as well. Guys, again, Ondo is not some small time name in the space that has barely any connections back to TradFi and these big, massive institutional players. No, they've been locked in. They've been locked in on really converging DeFi with TradFi in a big way, which is why now is the best time for them to launch Ondo Global Markets, which is the convergence of one of the largest traditional financial markets moving on chain, where you will see crypto and DeFi be a big piece of this. And even when we think about all of the networks that Ondo is tied back to, right? Like, look at the entire system here, 129 partners tied back to Ondo. I mean, guys, they are fully stacked. And by the way, yes, you can see just going in, looking at the service providers, which names are tied back to them, like BlackRock, for an example. You also have Fireblocks, which is a massive institutional name. Franklin Templeton is here, MasterCard as well, StoneX, Wisdom Tree, Wellington Management. I mean, guys, they have the top tier players tied back to them. So again, when we think about the JP Morgan partnership, yeah, it's a big one, but it's so familiar to them that I don't even think that they thought twice about it. I mean, I'm sure that they know it's a big announcement, but this is what I mean by how stacked Ondo is. It's not just, oh, hey, yeah, Ondo has $1.45 billion tied back to it. They just, released 102 or 103 tokenized stocks. No, it's not just about the tokenized value and the tokenized assets that are on chain with Ondo and what they're doing. It's also the names that they're working with. It's how small of a company, or not just a company, but like how small of a market cap this project has compared to some of the names that they're working with. I mean, you would think that Ondo has $100 billion in market cap. No, it has $2.85 billion in market cap, fully diluted value, $9.03 billion. I mean, I really do think that Ondo is severely undervalued. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.